Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to my unboxing. I've got 8 books that I've recently sent to CGC that I've just gotten back on a value tier submission. I've recorded the grades for the submission and I'm gonna reveal them. I have no idea what they are. And here to present with me or to go over the grades with me is my good friend DS Comics. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, thanks for inviting me to be on here. Unboxings are always an exciting time. It's like Christmas time, Christmas morning every time you get one. It's awesome. Yep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I am terrible, absolutely terrible at waiting to look at the grades. I mean, I am constantly like, okay, refresh, what's the grade? And I have had to control myself in this instance because I wanted to find out. I wanted to present these on camera with everybody else, and I wanted to find out what the grades were, and I wanted to find out how close to my estimations those grades actually were. So this is going to be a little fun and interesting for me. It's a little unusual.
Well, I'll tell you, I used to, when I first started sending submissions in, and probably the first submission I sent in was probably like 4 years ago now. I wouldn't look. I would be surprised, and it was very difficult to do. And then over time, as I've become more involved in the hobby, I have lost all willpower to hold out, and I'm one of those constant refreshers that when I know it's getting close and it's like grading quality control, I'll be reloading the page every 5 minutes until they're listed, and then I just gave in. I don't even try anymore.
Exactly. I'm unfortunately very much the same because I also submit a lot of books for customers of my LCS. So I'm constantly submitting, and they're like, hey, when are they getting back? And they want to know what's going on, where the books are. Actually, the owner of the LCS just popped in there, Jason Foster. He owns Jay's Comics in Third Lake, Illinois, near where I live. There's not a lot of comic stores in my area, so. But yeah, we get a lot of customers coming in and a lot of customer submissions, and like today was no different. We had 21 books in this value tier, and a large chunk of them went to customers, and I had snuck in 8 of my own, and I'm like, all right, let's get some of these books going. But yeah, so I'm really interested to see what the grades are, see how close I ended up on them, and where we're going to end up. But let's check out who's joined us in the chat. We got Bear Island. He wants to know what's in the box. I don't blame him. I want to know what's in the box too. Well, I know what's in the box. I just don't know what all is there. Backseat Driver is here as well, and I thought he was supposed to be doing his unboxing right about now as well. So we were kind of going back and forth, going, hey, oh, we're doing it at the same time. Oh, crap. Oh, well, I'll change mine. I'm like, you don't have to do that. And he didn't. It looks like he might have, so I have no idea. Let's see. We got Unruly Simeon in there. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate that. And again, we've got Jason Foster. So without further ado, we'll start looking at some of these books. So just for everybody's reference, I have cleaned and pressed all of the books. So that was done ahead of time. I did not use CCS. I did the work myself. I do the work under a company name of Comic Rehab. And I, generally I can usually get, between a 0.5 to sometimes even a 2-point grade bump, depending on, the condition of the book and what's fixable, when you have spine rolls and stuff like that. I once took a 7.0, Saga of Swamp Thing 37, first John Constantine, from a 7.0 to a 9.8.
That's the biggest jump there. That's insane.
It is. It really was. Because I was able to correct the significant spine roll that it had, and then I was able to clean up all the schmutz in the yellow areas, right? Which, as I'm sure you're aware, yellow is one of the hardest things to clean without taking the color out.
It is. Yeah, I just cleaned a Golden Age. It had 3 spots of pencil. The date was written on it in 3 different places on the yellow cover. And I got the first 2 off without damaging the yellow. And then I got a little impatient. And like, you get that tunnel vision where you're working on a spot and you don't see the bigger picture, and you're just looking and you're so focus. And then when you step back and look at it, you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Much. So yeah,
I think we went a little too deep on the color there.
Yeah, so I did good on the first two. The last one, yeah, well, yellow is tough, man. Yellow is really tough.
Yeah, yellow is difficult, but it, in my opinion, it has the greatest payoff, right? Because if you can clean something out of yellow, right, it just brightens the book up, because yellow gets that dingy look to it, right? And when it's clean, it really pops.
Yeah,
it really shows off everything that's there, whether it's a background or a foreground. I really think that it does benefit more than most. I mean, yes. I'm really, I have no idea what the grades are this time. But I will tell you what we've got. We've got some early Amazing Spider-Mans. Well, we have one early Amazing Spider-Man, and we have some early Avengers, and everything else is bronze, but they're all keys. So these are all, decent books. As I said, they went in the value tier. So some are a little bit, less expensive because they're lower grade, like the Silver Age Spider-Man, but it's to be expected. Thanks for stopping by, TJ. He always likes to see some slabs. All right, so who wants to see some books? We ready?
Yeah, see you, man.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody else watches these videos, but Luther Manning, he does videos with his friend Mike, and I gotta be honest with you, I think they have one of the best ways of actually presenting and showing off the grades. So since what is it? Copying is the highest form of flattery, or what's that phrase?
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah, imitation is the highest form of flattery. I'm not going to do anything different. So we're going to take the what's his name? Dr. Von Chilla, off go the panties. Get the slip cover off. Okay, so this, judging from the condition, this appears to be the one that I got from King of the Golden State. So we're going to slip that in there. Yeah, good. That's got it covered.
If you want to make yourself big.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go here.
Books.
And yeah, we're going to stick that right there on the back. Okay, so what we have is, first up, Ghost Rider #1. Oof, lots of glare. Yeah, I got a window over there. Got to draw the shades on. So we got Ghost Rider #1, and I picked this one up recently. Actually, it was in my quarantine haul video that I dropped this morning from King of the Golden State at a Lords of the Long Box auction. It was part of another large Ghost Rider auction group with some of the later stuff. But I got this one because it is the first cameo appearance of Damien Hellstrom, as well as the fact that it's the first issue of Ghost Rider. And I've been working on the early Marvel Spotlight issues, and as well as the first 20 issues of Ghost Rider. Later stuff I'm not, not that big a fan of, but the early ones, I think are really cool, especially since they carry the most value as well. So I'll let everybody kind of get a close up of this guy. Now I graded this at a 7.5. Right here, you guys can see on the wheel there's a color break, right? It's not a deep color break. It's not very long. The spine is still really nice on this book, and it's got some edge wear a little bit, and then just a couple of little corner creases, just ever so slight corner creases in it. But it is a nice presenting copy. And I figured because of the size of that color break on the tire there, that it wasn't going to get beyond, it wasn't going to make an 8, but I didn't think it was going to be as low as a 7.0. So let's find out if I was right. 7.0. Okay. So it looks like they did hit that a little bit harder than I anticipated. So not too bad.
It's like a 1973. Is that a 73 book?
73, yeah. This is September 73. So this came out a year before I was born.
Yeah, those early bronze keys, you get them up into the 7.5 range. You start to have a nice high-grade copy because they're old books, and those early bronze ones are tough, man. That's a solid copy.
Yeah, it's still a respectable grade. I'm very, very happy with it. Especially the Ghost Rider books, for some reason, especially the key ones, always had a lot of black in them.
Yeah.
That Marvel Spotlight #5, was just really had a lot of black to it. But I got to be honest with you, and I'm probably a little bit more, I think, pensive about the grades on this particular round because I sent off a special Marvel edition #15 for Jason, and I'll show it to you here. And this book is beautiful, and it came back a 7.0. And the only thing that they noted on here was slight color break on the top edge of the book, and color breaks on the spine. Now, I'm going to tell you, there was a 7.5. Oh God, I forget what book it was. Anyway, it was a 7.5, and we put them together side by side today. And I'm like, this 7.5 doesn't look as good as this 7.0. And there's nothing else in the grader's notes. There's no hidden stains or anything like that. And the 7.5 had foxing along the back of the spine, and it had other color breaks, and it had color scuffing down the front of the spine. This book has none of that. This book is gorgeous. I had this pegged for a 9.0, and they gave me a 7.0. So for the first time in the history of me sending in books to CGC, I'm complaining about this one because I don't think this grade's right. And I don't want to have to spend the coin to go and send it out, crack it and send it out again just to, rush or roll the dice to find out if they're going to give me a better grade on it. I want them to fix that.
I may crack one out like that and send it to CBCS and see what they grade it. I don't know. I feel a couple of the grades I got were pretty strict the last couple of times, and they were lower than I thought they were going to be. And I don't know. I might take a couple of those next time and crack them out and send them to CBCS and see what they give me. Because honestly, with their new holders, it's the quality of the slab, I feel like, is pretty equivalent these days from what I've seen. So I might give that a shot. I had a same book as that I sent in, and I got a 7 and a 7.5 on the 2 copies I had. And I thought they were both like 8 range. So,
Ghost Rider #1?
No, the Shang-Chi.
The Shang-Chi, yeah. It's kind of ridiculous sometimes. We got Tony Sanders joining us. He's at work, but he's checking us out, showing his support. And I would agree. It definitely looks awesome for a 7.0. Best looking 7.0 I've ever seen. All right, so let's get another book. And what do we got here? We got the other Ghost Rider. So this is the one I got. I got this one from Graham Cracker's Comics in Chicago, right before the hammer came down. And not far enough over. Not showing off to anybody else. And then this one here, I mean, again, super nice looking. And considering the grade they just gave me on the last one, I think I'm going to wind up getting the same thing on this one. But again, I thought it was a 7.5. It has a color break right here, right? It's about 2 inches long on the. You see it there on the right hand side of the book.
It's tough to see anything through slabs on video, but yeah, I mean that's almost in the same spot too. So
the other one was right here in the color, and this one's just in the black over here. And like I said, I mean, based on what I'd seen before, this one I think's got a better spine, so that may pay some dividends in the grade. But overall, I mean, it's a good looking book, and I'm not going to be too disappointed either way. But let's wrong side. Yep, there we go. So let's see what we got. Survey says 7.5.
Nice.
Right on. And I thought this one was actually going to make the better. Wasn't going to make the better grade. I honestly thought that the one with the color break in the wheel would have had the better grade, but evidently not. So this is the keeper, and the 7.0 is going up for sale. So anybody in the chat or anybody watching this, you want a copy of Ghost Rider #1 in a 7.0. Hit me up on Instagram, and that could be yours. All right, so we got Comic Mag Musings. Actually, yeah, he hit me up about the video today about those Ghost Riders. So Musings, just to kind of give you a recap. So the one that I got the one that I showed off in the video was this one. It was a 7.0. This is the one I got from King of the Golden State. So we got a 7.0, and I have a 7.5 as well. So 7.0s on the shopping blog.
So they're both good books there, man.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So let's go to the next one. Swamp Thing.
Nice. I love that book.
Good looking Swamp Thing. Okay, so I have 2 Swamp Things, and this appears to be the nicer one. Now, this one I got from a local comic store in my area while they were filming, so probably top of the market, not the best time to actually, pick that up. But it was decent. It was an affordable price. I wasn't going to complain about it too much. And it was super clean, too. So no real color breaks in the cover itself. There are some along the spine edge here. It does have a few color breaks. And it looks like I think we've got just the barest color break right up there in the corner. But other than that, again, super. Let me pull this out.
You know what else I like about that? And I have I went through like 5 copies of this before I got one I wanted as a keeper, and it's an 8.0 off-white to white. And I'm like, good enough. It matches my House of Secrets 92, but so hard to find one perfectly centered, and that is about as close as they get to being perfectly centered with the circle almost entirely intact. It looks like the 20 might be just a tad.
So
that's as good as they get, man, honestly.
It is. It's really hard with those 2 circles because whoever designed it, kill it. I mean, he just should have been taken out back and smacked because it's so hard with the way that the wraps go. So if there's any white showing, that you're getting clipping on the other side.
Well, that's as good as they come. That's as good as anyone I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, and nice. No foxing on the back at all. So it's a nice, clean white back. It cleaned up really good.
Yeah, nice.
Right, a little Volkswagen mini machine. So this is the nicer copy that I've got. Trying to find the best way to do this. So this is the nicer copy, and we got a 9. Oh, nice. Wow!
Claimed.
Claimed. Yeah.
Claim it.
I was hoping for something because there wasn't a lot in the way of color break, but I wasn't gonna. I don't know. I guess I wasn't gonna overdo it. Wow. That is
that's real good, dude. The best I've gotten is an 8.0, and I just kept it, but I would definitely upgrade at some point. And 9.0, that's rock solid. That's like 72 too. That's an old book.
Yeah. 72. And just fantastic Bernie Wrightson art. I love Bernie Wrightson's work. His monster work is just superb. I actually sent out that Web of Horror magazine out to CGC. We're gonna put you in.
So is that Swamp Thing is the keeper for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The other one I think is a 6.5.
I like that one. That's nice. I got books I could trade you for that. I got some stuff. That's nice.
Yeah, you got a little something?
Yeah.
Put that up there. So those are the 2. Yeah, those are 2 of the big ones for me. The Ghost Rider and the Swamp Thing. All right. Yeah, Tony. So I always have 2 in the back. Just kind of showcase a little bit. I have to clean this up. My wife's it's driving her crazy. She can't stand it. She's like, it looks so messy back there when you're on camera or when I walk in the room. I'm like, I can appreciate that. Okay.
Hey, you have a House of Secrets 92, don't you?
I do. I actually just sent it. I just sent it in. I just dropped. I sent in 6 books to the standard tier, and that was House of Secrets 92, Fantastic Four 52,
nice,
Hulk 180, my second Amazing Spider-Man 129. and there was one other big book. I know I didn't send in my Fantastic 450 because that was a higher priced one, or 49. That one's definitely a higher bracket. I want to say it was an Iron Man one. It was something like that. No, I didn't take the Iron Man one. Anyway, I sent 5 books out. Actually, I sent 6, but the other one's for somebody else. So I sent 6 books out, and I should be getting those back hopefully next week.
Cool.
Given this, standard turnaround times are obviously much shorter, right? They've got a different crew that works on it.
I think like 3 weeks for standard.
Yeah. All right. Here's the other Swamp Thing. Tony wants to know what grade do I think I got on the house. Let's take a look at my little cheat sheet here.
Be awesome if it's a 9.0. That's that Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think I was betting on a 6 for that one. House of Secrets 92. Yeah, I've got a 6 down as the raw grade. That was the other book, Daredevil #1.
Oh, nice.
All right, so now to your point, DS, this is actually a really good example of that. This one does not have the nicer wrap that we were talking about. Hey, Comic Man Andy in the house. How you doing? This does not have the nicer wrap, so it's got the clipping on the side. We'll show that here. So what DS was saying is the 20 cents here, right? You can see with the more pronounced white here with the miswrap, there's much more of the 20 cent that is cut off. So you lose the cent and you lose a little bit on the top too because it's been moved forward or moved up.
Yeah, I think half of the entire print run of that book it has an overwrap. Honestly,
and what was the other big book that's like that? X-Men 101, right? Finding an X-Men 101 that's perfectly centered is like that's a grail hunt on its own. It's rough just finding them. Like both the ones that I have, one I have, it's kind of novelty. It's a 10 pence English price variant, and it's a 6.5, but I've got a 9.4 a US one, but it's just it doesn't have the nicer wrap, so that's what makes it a little bit tougher. So this one I got from Libby Bell Collecting from Instagram, and if you don't know, if you're not subscribed to Libby Bell, do it. Look him up. The guy has this trophy room that's just insane. Just statues everywhere. He's got all the serious first appearances and stuff like that. He's got some serious Batman stuff and everything. Just great statues and everything. Just the way he put it together, it's fantastic. He's down in Texas, but he late one night. I think I finished an auction with 84 and Metarog, and he threw something up. He was like, hey, want to move Swamp Thing #1, #3, and House of Mystery. What was it? 165? That has the Swamp Thing template in it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know which number it is. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, it's got the one where the guy's getting attacked by the giant bat on the cover.
Yeah.
So he was getting, I want to say it's 165.
I think I just had one of those too. It might be 160.
You know what? I think I've got it.
Maybe. I don't know if it's. I almost think it's in the 70s though too.
Well, it's from the 70s. That's for certain.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just had a copy of that recently. That was I got a 6.5 on it and I sold it. It's like the tan cover.
Yeah, it's a tan cover. It's got a guy getting attacked by a giant bat.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good. I really want a high grade of that, but there aren't many out there, and I don't want to keep spending on raws because it's tough to judge that one based on photos. And so I'm still on the hunt for a nice grade of that.
With the tan, it really kind of hides the color breaks, so you can't really see it too well.
Yeah.
Not like on something like this.
That was nice. I came back 6.5. I was trying to buy a VF copy, and then it only was a 6.5. So
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, I mean, for that age, 6.5s are always respectable grades.
Yeah, I try to get 8.5s, 9s. 9.2 for like bronze hard.
For bronze.
It takes longer, but it's worth it for me.
True. So this book has a number of stressed color breaks on the spine, and then there's like some reading creases here along the spine edge. Where somebody pinches the spine side of the book and then kind of folds it over, right, and it just kind of pinches where their thumb is. So that has it has a bit of that. As far as defects, that's the main defects to it. And the ones that I've seen in that grade in the past have usually been like in the 5.5 to 6.5 range. So this one I've got marked as a 6.5. So that's what we're hoping for on this. And let's see what we got. 5.5. All right. So yeah, lower end of the spectrum than what I'd hoped, but not uncommon. I had a Spider-Man 129 come back like that, but it had a lot more of the creases in the cover of the book. Not necessarily color breaking, but just had a lot more creases to it. So I thought this one was going to come up a little higher, but nothing like that 9.0, right?
Yeah, that 9.0 is beautiful.
That's a pretty book. So this one's for sale. Not keeping this one. Let's see. We got D. Runk in the house. What's going on, George? George, we're about halfway through, so I'll do a recap at the end. All right. What do we have next? Oh, some Spider-Man. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 41, first appearance of the Rhino. So we're going to throw this one in the back.
Yeah, I've been looking for one of those in like 7.0 or better than Raw for years.
Rhino?
Yes.
That's
7.0 or better Raw. I mean, I'm going to sell it. That's what I do, but it's still the challenge and the hunt. And man, that book is impossible to find in nice shape. Really,
apparently it's a really good read because they've been incredibly well read.
Yeah, I know.
So this one I got from a comic store down near Chicago. It had quite a bit of wear to it. A lot of wear on the spine, just all the way down the spine. Just a lot of creases and color breaks. Some color rub up here in the corner, and down in this corner as well. We got a little bit of corner rounding. So Andy and I were having a conversation about this the other night. So if you look there, that's what corner rounding looks like. You can get a good shot of it, where it just looks like the blunt of the corner has been kind of scooped off. And I've seen some that have just been like a slope, and I'm like, that's not corner rounding. That's just corner is gone. There's no corner at all, round or otherwise. But then we've got some color breaks here along the bottom, right? That's going to affect. And I want to say the back looks pretty clean, but I still say that there's some other creases. Obviously not color breaking, but the back's nice and clean, so it looks good. Presents well. I mean, it presents well in the front as well, right? So it's a good looking cover. I've seen worse ones where the Rhino's got creases all over them as well.
So I'm gonna say, based on what I can see, I'm gonna say 3.540.
That's what I've got it. I've got it at a 3.5.
Okay.
If we get 4.0, I'll be happy. But I had it at a 3.5. I think before I did any work to it. The corner rounding, I think, is what is really going to kind of take a little bit more edge off of that grade. So we got 3.
I'm always pleasantly surprised when I get them.
What's that?
I'm always pleasantly surprised when I get 4.0s a lot of times, because a lot of times I think it's lower and I get 4.0s. So fingers crossed for the 4.0 here.
And 4.0.
There you go. That's what I'm saying, man.
Got DS's juju going. So that's a good looking book. I do have a nicer copy of this that I haven't sent in yet. I sent this one in with the express purpose to resell. So real happy about the grade that came back on this one.
What's the page quality on that one?
It's a little over 2.
No, I mean the page quality on that is off-white to white.
Oh, page quality. Sorry, off-white to white.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice copy, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, anything higher than that, it gets super tough to find any of them. So that's practically a high grade for that book. Honestly, I'm not even joking.
I got to tell you, the reds on this are superb for the age.
Yeah. Good looking copy.
Those reds just really stand out.
And I'll tell you my experience I feel like once you get below 4.0, you really need something structural to drop it lower, like a very, very loose staple or detached at one staple or a major tear. I feel like you can have a lot of rough and tough wear, but if there's not any structural integrity problems that are massive, it seems to hit 4.0. That's like the floor before you get massive structural stuff. The structural stuff is really what drops it lower, I feel like. So you got a structurally intact book with a lot of wear, you get 4.0s, man. That's what I'm saying with that one. I get that a lot too. I think they're 3.0s, 3.5s, and I'll get a 4.0. So
yeah, I think they do bend a little bit there when it comes to the spine, but if you've got a book that when you hold it in your hands and it folds over, right, it just kind of limp, right? Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to get a 4 on something like that. I haven't seen anything higher than a 3.35 tops on books of that nature. And thank you, Backseat. Yeah, it's definitely a good looking copy. All right, so we are down to 3 books. So I've got another Spider-Man and I've got 2 Avengers 57s in here. So what do we have now? This is a good one. So I picked this one up at a store out in Schaumburg called Keith's Comics, and it was abused, pretty good. It's Amazing Spider-Man 101. It's the first appearance of Morbius. Let's see, I'll just kind of show it up here and get everybody to see the look of it, right? Obviously, the first thing everybody's going to notice, that little corner's gone, right? But otherwise, right, it presents really good. And that's something that I noticed when I picked it up, was that it didn't have a lot of color breaking creases across the book, right? So that helped. It does have some color loss up here, right, along the edge. So there's a little bit of color loss there, and it's obviously got the corner that's gone, but is it gone from the back? No. So the back corner is intact. Do have a little bit of stain over here. So I was calling this a 3.5. And one of the reasons, and I think you probably can go lower. If you look here, there's just a myriad of tears to the book. Get that to focus in, right? You can kind of see them
go in a couple inches.
Yeah, it goes in and it kind of goes through here. Now I was able to press it out and everything so it looks intact, so that it doesn't appear that there's anything missing, because there's not. It's just, it was just, like I said, there was just a riddle of tears in there, and then it's got some color lift right in the center, right about there. But otherwise, I mean, it's it's a 101, right? We got a Morbius movie coming out. It's always been a high demand book, right? Everybody wants this book, whether you're a horror fan or you're a Spider-Man fan or anybody, right? This book's highly sought after. So I figured, hey, for the, I think $40 I picked it up for, it was worth going after, right? Doesn't matter what it comes back as. But so my thought,
basically, it's higher than a 1.0, so you're going to make money.
Exactly, right? So I wasn't too worried about that score. So I'm thinking a 3.5 on this. That's where I had placed my wager. What do you think?
Well, I think it's the 3.0. I don't think you're going to get higher than a 3.0 with those tears. They look pretty
Probably
big.
Not.
We'll see.
They did lay down nice. 3.0. Good call, man.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a lot of experience with beat up books in the golden age, so I'm getting a lot of 2.5. I'm not like a professional grader, but when it gets into that grade range, I just get so many of them. I just get used to it. You know what I mean? But I have one that's almost exactly like that, and it's got tears going into it, almost exactly like that on the back cover. And I had a 3.0, and it looked just like that, but it was a golden age book, and I had a 3.0 on that. So But yeah, presentable from the front, but tears on the back, and so you get a beautiful looking copy compared to others in that grade range. So yeah,
that is true. Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing, right? You're looking at it from the front, not the back necessarily.
Right.
So that's going to be a good win for anybody who wants to pick this up. D. Runk guessed the grade here. Wait, where is it? There it is. He guessed the grade, so he says, "I won the book." You know what, D? Couple $100 in shipping. It is yours, buddy.
Just pay for the shipping. $300.
$300 shipping. Yeah. I actually haven't even looked up any of the prices on any of these things yet either. So.
You know, I had a raw copy of that was like 5.0, and I sold it right before the news of movies hit, and so I would have kept it and slabbed it, and it was probably like a 5.055, but I sold it for like half the price based on what it was going for the week after. So. That kind of soured me on that book, and I have refused to pick up any more since then. So,
yeah, I hear you. And AF stands for aficionado, right? D, just checking with you. So TJ made a comment here that I want to go over. So I really wish my wants weren't so high. Those 3 books I want in Ghost Rider 9.2, Swamp Thing in 9.6, and SM Spider-Man in 8.0. Oh, he wants an 8.0 of the 41 and a 9.2 on the 101. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I have another 101 that I think is about a 9 that I'll send in eventually. But yeah, TJ, you've got some high standards, and I think we all respect that, especially when you start showing them on Instagram that you get them. So
yeah, and what's impressive about TJ's collection and the handful of others around the country that have that many books, when you have high standards, and yeah, you pick up one book, you pick up a 9.2 ASM 101. Yeah, great book, awesome. And it's, a cool book. But then when you add in another one and another one, and it's box after box, or in TJ's case, pile after pile of just high grade
awesome. Columns. I think those are called columns now because they can bear.
So then it becomes overwhelmingly impressive when you have, just one after another after another after another. So it's really worth the work, and it adds more value overall than any given book by itself. It's because of the challenge of getting those.
It is, yeah. I mean, especially any of those books in that age. I mean, even TJ shows some golden age books, and I'm, an early like atomic age, and I'm like, wait, he didn't get a 9 in that? And then he busts out one that it is, and it's like, oh, okay, you showed me. Oh. But yeah, TJ has an amazing collection. All right, so we're on to the Avengers now. And I'm going to show the lower... Whoa. That didn't work.
Let me tell you something about this Avengers 57 before you show the grades in the books as you're getting it ready.
Okay.
No, I've always thought it was a cool book. It's a nice key. It's a cool cover. But I never owned one. I still have never owned one. But I cleaned and pressed one I think it was for Kenny, Comic Head 84. I think I cleaned one for him several months back. And it was the first time that I had one in front of me in my hand, and I was blown away by how awesome the artwork on the cover was. I've seen them at cons or at shops and whatever, but I've never actually looked close at one and really examined it. And really, really awesome work of art on that cover that I really didn't appreciate for, ever until just recently how good it was. So yeah, I really like this book.
It is, and the red coloring, especially with a book of the Silver Age, to be able to keep the red, popping for so long is always a challenge. Yeah. So, all right. So this first one, I got this as part of a collection that I purchased, and it was a rather large and extensive Silver Age collection. One of the only detractors of it was that the early Avengers and Spider-Man books were water damaged. And it's like, you're like out of everything, those are the ones, like, it couldn't have been, it couldn't have been any like the Westerns or something like that, stuff that doesn't carry as much value later on. YouTube's 90. So I'm going to ask the chat, anybody in the chat, and I don't want 90 to actually answer this, but I want anybody else to answer this. What the hell does that mean? YouTube is 90. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Just I've never understood it.
I don't know, but it's a well-known catchy phrase. So that's
Evidently, yeah.
you got a catchphrase, you want it to be memorable, and that certainly is.
Right. So I got this book as part of that collection, right? And it was the first Avengers 57 that I'd gotten. You know, I mean, I was, you know, just happy. I went through this collection and like, I think it was about, I want to say there's probably a little over 2,000 books. And I pulled out about 300 just right off the bat. Like, here's the holes, right? And then I got to go back and, you know, like as I grade them, I go and I, you know, swap out, you know, the higher grade books for the ones that are in my collection, you know, because I got time on it. But if I didn't have an Avengers 57, right? I didn't want one. And at the time that I got it, this was about 3 years ago. So it was still hot, super hot from the Avengers movie, The Age of Ultron, when we first get Vision. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But this book got water damaged, right? It looks super clean on this book here, right? Man, glare is killing today. I cleaned it up, you know, I cleaned up the reds and everything. Made it look nice. It's got the color break up here. It's got another small color break up here, right? Which would probably put it around an 8.0 or so. But you can't see it too well. But right here by the 12 cent, there's a little stain. But it's nothing compared to the stain all the way down this edge, right? So that's really the big detractor, right? And it was, and then almost the entire length of this side. So lots of stain, water stain, right? And it was a little waterlogged, so I had to press it out pretty good. It looks clean. It looks super nice, but I'm betting because of the stains and everything that it's not going to get higher than a 4.5.
I'm going to go with a 5.5 on that.
5.5, because water stains is one of those things. I haven't seen on a lot of books that have had water stains on them. That nothing more than like little spots or something like that. Nothing with this much damage. So I'll defer to you because like you said before, you've had more luck or more books that you've sent in that range. So if it's higher than a 4.5, that's going to be fantastic. So survey says 4.5.
Was this a white pages?
It does say white pages.
There you go, 4.5 white pager.
It's all that extra water it got.
Yeah, I mean, stains are tough. They're definitely grade killers, but I feel like just looking at it on the video, that book, aside from the staining, is really nice. So
it is.
I have a hard time feeling like that staining should drop it that much because it's still a beautiful looking copy. So that's why I feel like that's better than 4.5. But stains are grade killers, and it's tough to judge when that's most of what there is. But white page is a good copy, man. Yeah,
it's a challenge. It really is. But yeah, it's a pretty looking book. So, I mean, again, you want a really well-presenting, lower-grade copy of Avengers 57. There you go, white pages. All right, so we're down to the last one. And it's the second Avengers 57. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Now this one I got again from Graham Crackers. So the same deal that I worked with the Ghost Rider #1 that came in. To go to the 7.5 white pages. Same deal I worked on that one was with this one here. But I got a really good price. I got that and some Adam Hughes Wonder Woman's. Wonder Woman's. Yeah. So very similar in terms of quality, right? The blacks look really good, but obviously there's no staining. It does have some slight color breaks. There's a little bit of wear here on the reds on the edge of the book. We can get get it to focus, which it doesn't appear at once. There it is. So there's a little bit of wear along here. You see slight wear along the top edge, and then slight wear along this, yeah, right up here in the corner. There's a little bit more wear.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no, it's a super nice presenting book. No major color breaks on the cover. The back's nice and clean. Looks like there might just be a couple little spots of foxing.
Yeah, that's a nice copy.
Yeah. So it came out looking super nice and white. So my hope is, well, I've got it marked as a 6.5 just because, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm hoping for a 7.5, but I'm thinking 6.5 for some reason. I'm sure there was.
I was thinking 7.0 as you were talking about it, so I'm going to go with 7.5 and try to pull you up from the 6.5 with Karma.
Yeah, let's hope for 6.5.
Not bad. Good call, though. Yeah.
But I don't remember why. That's the thing that's bothering me. I didn't write up some grader's notes on. Oh, there it is. There's a little stain in the bottom here. Yeah. So it does have a little bit of a water stain right down there that is super hard to see. You see the brown cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's nicer than the 4.5. I can't be upset with that, and it's white pages.
Oh, you got 2 white page Avengers 57s.
Yeah, so 1968 white pages. You can't complain about that.
Yeah, that's a win right there. 2 white pagers.
Yeah, super good. So that's the last one. We'll go through the recap. Yeah, Musings is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Water stains are killers with CGC. They're really rough. So we've got Avengers 57, 6.5 white pages. So that's a keeper. The 4.5 is not. Set that up. All right. So then we had Avengers 57, 4.5 white pages. Really super nice presenting copy. Just has some ugly water stains on the back. And then Amazing Spider-Man number 101. Again, great presenting front cover of this. Just has that a little chip out. It's a 3.0 off-white pages. Does have some tears to the back that flattened out. So they're not so noticeable. I mean, they're noticeable if you're looking dead at them. But otherwise, again, super nice presenting lower grade copy of that book. Amazing Spider-Man number 41, first appearance of the Rhino. 4.0, again, super nice presenting. All the color breaks are down here at the bottom. It doesn't really break up on the art on the Rhino. Reds are real clean, real bright. Back's nice and white.
My favorite one in the submission is that one.
What's that?
I like that one the best out of the submission. It's really, really bright colors on that.
Yeah. And, it seems to me that everybody in the community's got that one book that's like they're just have the hardest time finding the grade that they want,
Yeah.
Seems like that's the one for you based on the conversation.
I've yet to get one, and I look all the time, and I've been looking for years, and I cannot find a good copy of that book. I'm just planning on selling it, but I like the challenge of hunting them anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And we got Swamp Thing number 1. So this is first appearance of Alec and Linda Holland and Lieutenant Macabre and the origin of the Swamp Thing. Because the first appearance is, what's his name? Alex something else. I know it's not Alec Holland. It might be Alex Holland, but
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I have it here because I have the trade. I was just reading it if I can remember where it was.
So this is 5.5 white pages. Yeah, Ultimate Swamp Thing or Absolute Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Roots of the Swamp Thing. It's got House of Secrets, and then it's got 1 through 13. So the whole Wrightson, and then 3 additional ones.
Yeah. So this one has the off-center cover and how it cuts off the 20-cent marker in the corner medallion. So that one came out nice. And then we have Ghost Rider #1, first appearance of Son of Satan, Damian Hellstrom in cameo. Story continued from Marvel Spotlight 11. So that one is 7.0 white pages. Again, super bright with the reds. The blacks are nice. It just happens to have a color break here in the front cover and a couple of spine creases that break color. But otherwise, super nice. A nice clean back. Very good. We got K. Titus in from Japan. And then the 2 big winners tonight. Swamp Thing #1 and a 9.0.
Yeah, that's a good looking copy, man.
And Ghost Rider #1 and a 7.5. That one came across real nice. Even with the color break on the side. I'm glad it came, it got a little half bump. I really wanted something in the VF area. So that one came out really good. So those are the 2 big winners, especially this guy. Man.
Yeah, definitely 9.0.
What a surprise. I was really going to be happy with an 8.85, but a 9.0 is just spectacular. What we got? Let's hit some chat here. So we got D-Runk. Thanks for the words, buddy. Newbie's in the house. Where is Newbie? Here we go. Oh, and let's find out how let's find out about YouTube is 90. So TJ says he's in a band called 90 Miles from something. Considering he's from Florida, I'm going to go that's Cuba. I think somebody called that out. Yeah, TJ called that out. And I do believe that he did agree to that. Yeah, TJ facts. But I still don't understand why YouTube's 90. That's what I don't get.
There was it was a wrestling reference I saw in here. Jericho says, Jericho. I guess YouTube is 90. I don't know. It's caught on. So the catchphrase.
I don't get it.
I'm not a wrestling fan, so I didn't get it. But I know when I hear that exactly where it comes from, and that's your goal with the catchphrase. So I say, well done.
Sure. Yeah. Guess that works. So you had an FF36 that looked like a 9 with a stain on the corner and got a 7.0. Ouch.
Yeah, it was the back corner, and it was an upper corner by the spine, and it was probably like an 1.5 inches across the top, 1.5 inches across down the spine, and then connecting them. So it was like a triangle of like 1.5 by 1.5 by whatever. Yes, and it wasn't like a dirty stain. It was just a water stain. So it wasn't nasty looking, and you really had to look at it. But the book on the front and structurally, it had no spine ticks at all. It had slight wear at the corners, and then that stain. And so it was a 9.0 book, but with that, they dropped it to a 7.0. So yeah, that dropped it 2 full points because it had no spine ticks, man. It was a beautiful copy.
That's rough. That's absolutely rough. Yeah, I just that's one of those things that just kind of kills me. I have a Batman 251 that is just perfect. I mean, it is gorgeous. It's in the 9s all day long, except it's got a stain. It's like that Avengers 57 one, right? Like it's just so unnoticeable down at the bottom, but on the back side, you can see it a bit more coming through. So they called it a stain through the book, and it instead of getting in the 9s, it's a 7.0.
Yeah, same deal. Yep.
It was rough.
Yeah, stains are tough. Somebody asked me about foxing recently. It might have been in the chat you were in when I did my unboxing.
I think so. Yeah.
I think foxing and staining to the eye have the same effect. They both are marring the aesthetic to the same degree, but foxing is graded much lighter than staining.
Because it's a natural effect, and the other one is something that happened to the book. You know?
Yeah, I get it, but that's little consolation when you have either one on a book. They both look as bad in the same amount.
And then I guess by the same token, you could say it comes down to square footage, right?
Yeah,
foxing is like a little dot where it stains like runs the entire length or something like that. Plus the inherent issues with the staining coming from water damage, right? Yeah. What that can do to a book long term, especially if it affects the staples.
So, yeah, I think staining is probably the biggest grade killer of any particular defect that I could think of. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's, you get into older books, it's tough. There's stains. The older you go, the harder it is to avoid staining. And, most of my Golden Age books have some level of staining on them somewhere.
Yeah.
Just over the years, a drop of something somewhere has gotten to the paper. There's so much liquid in the world. You keep a stack of paper around for 70, 80 years. Some of that liquid somewhere is going to encounter that paper. It's impossible.
And the vast majority of those collections, not bagged and board, just sitting in cardboard boxes and attics and stuff where rain gets through.
Yeah.
Closest to the humidity. Yeah, it can definitely be rough. So, well, that's all I've got. What do you got going on for you, man?
Well, in about a half hour, I'm going to be on Golden Guys on the Comic Core channel.
Love that show.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. I appreciate it. People tell me all the time, we have a small but devoted following that watches that show. We never get 50 viewers or anything like that. But the people that are there are the same people that show up week after week and really appreciate it. And people are always telling me I learned so much on that show. I learn something new on that show every week. And I'm in Golden Age all the time. And every single week on Golden Guys, I'm learning new stuff. So you can really learn a lot. And even if you're not buying Golden Age, it's a really cool show. You can learn and see some comics that you probably have never seen before. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't already.
Yeah, no, like I said, I enjoy that show. I rarely get to catch it while it's live. Sometimes I do. I dig the spinner rack section. Sometimes it goes a little bit, longer, but
yeah, it does.
getting into kind of some of the meat of like the Golden Age stuff is always a lot of fun because it's an area of comics that I have little knowledge of.
Yeah, well, we do at the beginning. We do show and tell for new books we picked up over the week, and I've got 2 awesome Golden Age books that I picked up in the last week that I'll be showing at the outset of tonight's show.
But didn't you already send one off? You just going to show pictures?
What's that?
Didn't you already send one of those off?
No, that one I showed and sent it off the next day, and it's at CGC now. The other 2 are already slabbed, so they're not going anywhere. You're talking about the Dynamic Comics 8, the black cover with the brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I sent that off. That one. Here's what I think about that. That book is like 4 or 5, but the cover's detached and the 2 center wraps are detached. So, I mean, I think 3.0 is a possibility. I'm thinking 2.5 to 3.0 because the detachments are the biggest thing. Without the detachments, the book's like a 4 or 5. It's really nice. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I think 3.0, 2.5, 3.0 is probably where it's at.
I think you're probably right. Have you tried reattaching the cover?
No, the spot where the paper would attach to the cover is gone. So there's like a little block missing. It's a
what about the center wraps?
They're tore, and I didn't want to mess with it, so I just left it. There's tearing where it's going to take some manipulation of the staple and the paper, and it's not that
obvious.
Incredibly hard to find, and it's decently valuable to me, and it presents so well, and it's complete, and I don't want to. I can mess with it later, but I need to get it protected and preserved in a slab, and I want to get the blue label. I want a professional to make sure they think it's complete and there's no issues. And then down the road, I may have it cracked out and maybe worked on or do something with it, but I need to get it. I want to make sure that it's a professional says that it is what it is and it's complete and unrestored and no issues, and find out what the grade is, and then it's locked in and I know. And then down the road I can do something with it. That's what I did with my Terrific 5. That was in a slab for 2 years, and then I got a professional to work on it and improved it and reslabbed it. But I don't want to sit around raw. Plus it's so big it doesn't fit in a Golden Age baggie, and it's one of those wide ones that barely fits in a slab, but I don't have any baggie boards, so it's not like an easy book to store either. So yeah,
barely fits in the bag and board, much less the box.
Right, so it'll fit in a slab. It'll be wall-to-wall book inside that slab, but it'll be much easier to store that way, and I'll just have it'll set my mind at ease with owning that book. So
yeah, that's good. Well, I'm definitely intend on checking the show out tonight. It sounds like it's going to be fun, as always, for the Golden guys. For me, I've got more submissions coming back. I've got 10. Yeah, I think I've got 10 orders out at CGC right now. And I usually keep at least somewhere between 2 to 5 books in each order that are personal that I'll show and start doing some more of these unboxings. It seems to be where it's at, what people enjoy. I know I enjoy it, but I'm going to have a hard time. I'm going to honestly have a hard time not looking at the grades ahead of time, especially ones that I know are like, okay, these are all supposed to be 9/8. Like, are they 9/8? Good. Okay, good.
Well, I've got one submission there. Maybe I'll return the favor, and you can join me on my channel to do my unboxing when they're done. I just sent it in, but it's Golden Age War books, and maybe I'll try not to grades on those because they're not. I know they're not high grade. I'm gonna look for 9/8s and 9/2s. They're all. So there's not going to be any massive surprises. So it'll be a fun, I'm not like dying to see it. So maybe I'll try and hold off and be surprised.
Well, I mean, as we've talked about before, I mean, there's an art form to grading low grade books, right? To be able to get that between 1.8 to 3.0, there's wide swings in there. It just depends on what's going on with the book, whether it's missing pieces or how much, creasing or structural damage is done to the book, whether it's tape added to it, whether there's amateur repair that they do or don't call restoration. Like I had to clean glue off of an Iron Man 55. Somebody glued down at the bottom staple, the cover. I had to scrape all that out of there. It just came back. It was a 2.5 because it was already, kind of low grade, but it was a blue label. So we avoided the dreaded purple label by getting all that glue carved out of there. It did partially detach the cover, but again, it wasn't going to negatively impact the rest of the book. It was just bad to begin with. But that was a customer book, and they're like, please, no purple label. So did what I could.
Yeah, glue is tough because you can always get glue off, and it's hard to get all the glue off. So you can never get it. I almost feel like I can never get all of it off, but I try to get as much as I possibly can detect, and then there's still a chance that they might say small amount of glue on spine or something. So always that's good success. You got a blue label on that because glue is a bastard, man. It's tough.
Yep, it's a real pain. It really is. So that's all I've got. Like I said, I've got some more unboxing videos that'll be coming up as they trickle in. And I also have my Art of CPR. So I have some of the orders coming back are going to have some of those books in them. And I'll do the unboxing and then I'll release the video. I think that's what I'm intending to do because I want to be able to add the reveal to the end of that video because I did a whole segment on, reviewing the book ahead of time, while it's in the slab, what I think is wrong with it, how I can fix it, cracking it open, doing the pressing and or cleaning, taking pictures of it and then submitting it, showing the after, how it looked afterwards, and then sending it off and getting it back. So I want to be able to kind of add all that together. So the segments, the full segments will get released after the unboxings are done. And I'll just note those in each of the videos. And then I've got the quarantine hauls that I started dropping today. I've got 8 in that series. That'll be coming out over the next few weeks. So appreciate. What's that?
You're busy over there.
Oh yeah, there's that, and then there's pre-orders. There's a whole lot of stuff going on right now. But yeah, so I'm hoping that that CPR is going to work out nice because I've got some really good books in there that I'm looking to get upgrades on. Some I think will work out, some I don't think are going to work out, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if CGC is going to be kind to us, or if they're not going to be kind to us. So anyway, DS, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it, buddy. It's great to be on. And thanks to everybody in the chat for showing up. I know 84 snuck in here a little bit ago, and I think Backseat. I don't know if Backseat's got. He's doing his later or he did it earlier. I'm not sure, but check out his unboxing. He had some stuff coming back as well, and we'll catch you guys later.
All right, see you guys on Golden, guys.
Yeah.